righteous. Alright. So, where should I go first exactly? Do I just talk to the party members or what?
Well, you might as well talk about the shops around there, like the tavern guy, what he's got.
We got the Arcane Weaver. Hey, Arisno! I remember her from Kingmaker. What's she doing here? Barracks, Sela, Windwalk, abandoned building, house, prison, Social, Horgus Worm, inn, jewelry artisan, half measure tavern.
So how is Forward Farm? Can he be an advisor?
Who knows? Let's see. If we run all the way over to him now, he's somewhere over here. One-Eyed Devil. Wait, which of these is Horgus Worm? Wolser Garms. Socio. Here he is. There's some peasants here. And citizens! Why? I just freed this place. Like Horgus Worm.
You!
I'm listening, Knight Commander. Are you aware of my special powers? People say a lot of things about you. They say that you can make the burnt soil of the Worldwound bloom with a single touch. That your very image scares away the demons and makes their strongholds crumble. They also say that you pick your allies from among the rabble because it is your sacred duty to try and redeem them. Perhaps I put it too broadly. Let me explain. People see your power and they also see that you are different from the other more righteous paladins. You are softer, brighter, a bit frivolous, if I may. They see that you have little respect for rules and restrictions, and that gives them food for various thoughts. The Crusades have never seen a commander like this before. What if not all the changes and people you brought here are for the better? Given these sentiments, I would be very careful if I were you. It is very easy to get carried away with your games and turn the army into a farce.
Order must be maintained.
Sure. What do they say? You're a real hard ass. Nobles and peasants don't really say anything. But that's what Wilson Garm had to say. Then I have the One-Eyed Devil. A short chubby tiefling with a golden eye patch spits chewing tobacco between his feet and takes another pinch from a tobacco box adorned with jewels. A fine day to you, Commander. Welcome to the One-Eyed Devil's trading house. His proud manner suggests that each word begins with a capital letter, and perhaps even continues in capital letters as well. A trading house? It's just a shop. Ah, that depends. There was a time when I had nothing in my pockets but holes. But did I consider myself poor? No. I considered myself a rich man who was temporarily down on his luck. Optimism is important not only on the battlefield, Commander. You are the leader of a victorious army that will be chopping all the demons into mincemeat sooner or later. I am the owner of a trade empire, which, as you see, is only starting to grow. How did a tiefling end up on the side of the Crusaders? The answer is simple, the simplest thing there is. This is a good world, and I like living in it. Besides, it's the only one we've got. I'd love to know what's going on in the heads of the dimwits who are helping the demons destroy it. My best guess is that their horns grow inward, so there's no room for brains. I'm from Chiliax. Tieflings don't surprise anyone there, and they don't like demons any more than we do here. And why would they? The gods went to all the trouble of creating this world. Even Lord Asmodeus and his devils helped with the construction. And now these freeloaders show up after all the hard work is done, just to gorge and break things. It doesn't matter who you pray to. If you want to live, it's your duty to help. Isn't that a risky name for a store for crusaders? Ah, yes. A week doesn't go by without some dimwit boiling over. Well, they don't pay me to explain the difference between allies and enemies, devils and demons, Lord Asmodeus and all the riffraff like Baphomet and Discari. So they can go hang. The tiefling spits between his teeth, or between his feet, and swiftly places another pinch of chewing tobacco in his mouth. Here's what I think. You like it, you buy it. You don't like it, keep moving. If you're spoiling for a fight, take yourself off to the tavern. Why are your prices so high? We're saving the world from demons, and that includes you. That's some claim. Did you hear that, good people? First of all, my prices are perfectly fair. They're no higher than you'd find anywhere else. Second, who's saving who here? Are you prepared to eat bark and fight with rocks and sticks? You know, I have open contracts with dozens of suppliers. I arrange deliveries and do whatever it takes to get you sharper weapons, better magical items, better food, and you're throwing the extra expense in my face? This is the thanks I get for honest work. What happened to your eye? Heh. Should I make up a story about a heroic fight with a horde of demons? Truth be told, this is how it happened. Before, when I was a snot-nosed kid, I had just opened my first business selling pies on the street. The local lads quickly took notice of me and offered me protection in return for a small share of profits. The usual, you know. But I was so young, inexperienced, and greedy, so I told them to bugger off. Well, they caught me and taught me a lesson. They took it too far, though. I paid for the lesson with my eye, not just bumps and bruises. It's funny to remember it now, but back then, while it was happening, I was so scared. I thought they'd beat me to death. I remember I came running home in tears and my mom just started screaming. I didn't have a clue why. And when I looked in the mirror and saw there were just shreds and mush where one of my eyes should be, I've remembered that lesson all my life. Ever since that day, when I start a business, I find some reliable business partners first. If I'd been born in a merchant family, my parents would have warned me about this, and about plenty of other things too. But I was a poor lad, so I had to learn everything the hard way. It's a miracle how many times I escaped death by a hair's breadth. In fact, it's lucky all I lost was one eye. I can afford a new eye now, of course, but you know, I just can't find the time. It will cost a tidy sum, and I don't want to take it out of the earnings. And besides, being the one-eyed devil is a big selling point for me. I'd be a fool to get my eye back only to have to keep it hidden under a patch. Have you heard about my new powers? What do you think? What do you make of them? People are saying bad things about you, Commander. To be clear, the speakers may not see anything bad in what they say, but I do. They say you're the chosen of Desna, the most insignificant of all the goddesses. The only thing she knows how to do is flap her butterfly wings and meddle in the affairs of others. They also say you're not a patch on the other crusade leaders, and that you'll accept absolutely anyone under your banner. A former thief, a goblin, a kobold, even a stump with eyes. And you've got yourself quite the troublesome pet. I could understand a serious battle dragon, but this misbegotten thing with dragonfly wings? She gives you as much trouble as a flock of hundreds of sparrows. And what good does it do you? It's bad business to associate with such creatures. I prefer devils myself, as the terms are clearly laid out in the contract. Show me your wares. It's just stuff. Yeah, he's not really selling a whole lot in armor and stuff. Oh, he sells bardings for mounts. You know what?
There's stuff in the tavern.
Holy rapier. Oh, okay, he sells some good. He sells some good stuff. It's just really expensive to me. Right. The Half Measure Tavern. Alright, let's go into the Half Measure Tavern. Oh, we found some nobles now. And still peasants. And citizens. Alright. Oh my god.
Freedom!
No, it's not that. It's gotta wait for my summons, my animal companions to come up to me. Before I can change into a different map. Let me see if I can tell. Oh, there's Foreign Autumn Haze. Oh yeah, he was a greetings commander. Yeah, he doesn't have anything new to talk about. Since I didn't exactly help him capture... What's her name? Kaylessa, I think they said. Right, so what's going on in the Half Measure Tavern? Haven't seen most of the party. Well, no, I've seen most of the party members all on the map, so... Like, except for Regil and Ninio. And Arusheli. No, I think she's on the world map too. I mean Dresden. Dresden's map. Alright, let's see. What do we have in here? Citizens, nobles. Anyone with a different name. Fi the Tavern Keeper. The boy sitting on the counter looks about 18. He salutes you with dignity, though his eyes scarcely rise from the tavern's ledger. The Knight Commander at my establishment. What an honor. My name is Fi Kito. I'm the owner of the Half Measure. How should I address you? I ask because some don't like undue familiarity, while others scoff at the tediousness of ceremony and titles. You may call me by my name, by my title, Knight Commander, or simply Commander. You can call me the Armored Armadillo for all I care. Sure, that one. Your commanderness, are you sure? I'm gonna remember that, you know. Fi smiles mischievously. It was a joke. Call me by my title. Actually, no, call me by my name. I'm absolutely sure. Out of respect for the whims of the hero of Dresden, the armadillo it is.
Alright!
So what can I do for you? Wine, a meal, a heart-to-heart talk? How is it that such a young lad owns a tavern? Before the siege of Dresden, the half measure belonged to a distant relative. I won't bore you with the details of how his family died. Just 3 words. Demon worshippers and sacrifice. Should be enough. Now that the city has been liberated, the authorities of Iomedes Church will be returning what remains to the lawful heirs of the deceased. They take these things seriously in Mendev. Phi suddenly slaps himself on the forehead. We started talking about the inn, and I remembered I wanted to thank you for personally defeating the demon in this very tavern when the city was liberated. Without you, who knows how many glasses he would have smashed before the Crusaders got to him. So please accept my thanks from the bottom of my heart. The half measure is a strange name for a tavern. Oh, that's a family story. It's not for the faint-hearted, but you're not one of those, are you? One day before the before the wardstones were erected, a peasant family got lost on the way to the fair and ended up near the borders of the world wound. They stumbled upon a bored demon, who killed the father right away. He then asked the mother if she'd prefer him to take all her children or only half of them. The sobbing woman looked at her 3 darlings and said half. The demon promptly cut the arms and legs of all the 3 children and said, I guess that's even, and disappeared. Item received, 15,000 gold. People across Dresden heard this story after the family found shelter at the local temple of Iomedae. For many years they saved up for a regeneration spell so the children could be made whole again. They eventually scrapped together enough for just 1 scroll and decided to give the youngest child a second chance at life. He soon became the tavern's first owner and called it the Half Measure in memory of his family and the terrible incident with the demon. He had a good life for a time, got himself married, and always planned to help his brother and sister, though he never got a proper chance. When the demons had Dresden surrounded, the poor cripples tried to run for their lives, but they died on the spot. The brother and his wife died a little later, at the hands of deserters. There were rumors that the same demon that butchered the family came to Dresden and made a den of the half measure. If that's true, I guess he got what he deserved when you freed the city. That's the story. Finn shrugs pensively. Why do you like sitting on the counter? 2 reasons, Phi says seriously. Dresden isn't the biggest city, but it still has a few taverns and pubs. To compete with the others, I need people to remember my establishment, and myself. That's the first reason. A tavern keeper who sits on the counter definitely sticks out from the others who prefer to stand behind their bars, all dignified. Believe me, you're not the first one to ask. Sooner or later, every customer does. And the second reason is the place's atmosphere. People should feel relaxed here. Life near the world wound is hard enough. Folks don't go to taverns looking to cause each other more trouble. So I allow certain liberties, myself included. I'm even thinking of hosting an invigorating brawl here on the 5th of every month. I'll let my favorite customers break glasses and swing on the chandelier. What's the feeling here in the city? I can only tell you about my customers. They're mostly working folks. the ones who are rebuilding what's been destroyed, along with soldiers and some merchants. Overall, spirits are high as they can be in Mendeth, nation of rattling sabers and fluttering banners. Everyone loves it when the demons get their horns, tails, and other parts handed to them. They've already forgotten that we nearly lost Canabras. War is like that. People live for one day, and that day is tomorrow, not yesterday. You've been a source of joy and inspiration for everyone as well. Just a simple guy, an ordinary human, not an elf with the wisdom of the ages, not an Aasimar blessed by heaven, and yet you defeated the demons and thumbed your nose at the Queen's knights. That's the kind of story people love. Right. Then you can say, what makes you think I'm a simple lad? Or say, this calls for a toast, doesn't it? Say, glad to hear I'm the source of hope and inspiration. The last one is, I suspect people who like such stories are actually jealous of those arrogant nobles and would be happy to find themselves among them. Nah. I'm glad I could to hear I'm a source of hope and inspiration. You know what my mother used to say back when she was alive? Little smiles grow into big victories. Let's drink to that. Another round on the house. Item received, mead. What do your customers say about my new powers? They talk about you so much that you could fill a hefty tome with theories about your birth alone. You may be the new Herald of Desna, or perhaps her son. You were born from a beautiful flower, or you fell to Golarion with the falling stars of Numeria. The earth blossoms under your feet, the water turns to ale. Incidentally, if this last one is true, please don't perform that miracle too often, or you'll drive down my prices. Forgive me, but your little dragon has caused a stir among the townsfolk. She pokes her nose in everywhere. I recently found her in a pickle barrel, and she scolded me for keeping yucky things in the basement instead of goodies. But I don't mind. Small and relatively harmless dragons do attract customers, and they cause a not excessive amount of damage. I have to go. So, come again. You'll always be welcome here. Fi nods and immerses himself in his calculations once more. Hold on. Let's see. What do you have to offer? Let's see. Keen art. Fancy short sword. Igniting. What does that mean? I can't even click to find out. And he sells some potions. Alright. Anyone else in here? Nobles, citizens, peasants. And more of that. Yep. Oh, huh, here we go. Greybor.
How can I help you?
Oh, he talks. Oh, yeah. This is the guy who's talking about the dragon. Before you stands a dwarf. He has stern, rugged features, and looks to be well armed. He fills his pipe with tobacco from Garund, lights it, and blows out a cloud of smoke. Finally, he addresses you in a deep, dignified voice. Who are you?
Don't you remember our last meeting?
You never told me your name.
The name is Greybor. I'm an assassin for hire. But I suspect you're not here for small talk. Are you in need of my services?
Still smoking his pipe, the dwarf offers you a cursory salute. You tried to kill that huge demon at the Battle of Dresden, but you failed. What happened?
Yes, that was a failure. It was supposed to be a clean job. An anonymous client, a worthy target. substantial fee, but the client insisted that I use an enchanted dagger they provided. I was assured that a single hit would be enough to finish the job, but it didn't work as expected. It was a serious blow to my reputation. And my reputation is everything to me.
I want to hire you for a dragon hunt.
A large adult female? The one that's been snatching people and carrying them off? I've heard about her. That's an impressive target. I can take this job, but only if we do it soon. I'm expecting a new assignment from my regular client, and I'll have to leave as soon as I have the orders. And of course, you should know that this dragon will not come cheaply. 2,500 gold, paid in advance.
Give him 2,500 gold coins. I'll pay.
Excellent. Let's get down to business. It's no easy thing to take down a dragon when you don't have wings, so you'll need to follow my lead. The best thing would be to catch her by surprise in her lair, but we need to find it first. Of course, since she doesn't leave tracks, that might be tricky, but I think I have a solution. We need to go west of Dresden, to the Grimwood Forest. The dragon's been seen there often. According to the scouts, this is likely because there's still some wild game left in those parts. We'll set up an ambush there. I hope I can rely on your honesty. I understand that on our way to the dragon, there may be other fights or places we need to visit for various reasons. That's to be expected. However, should I see that you are deliberately delaying the contract, or that you're dragging me off to assault some demon citadel instead of going after the dragon, we will have to revise the terms of our agreement.
Okay. Wait, is he in my party now? He is!
Well, you did start there.
Just a profession. For Crusaders, war is a calling and a sacred duty. For him, it is just a profession. The ruthless bounty hunter came to the World Wound in search of new business. Who becomes his client and who his victim does not matter to him. The holiest zealot and the most evil demon are no different in his eyes. They are but the next target that he must eliminate. A slayer in neutral alignment. Dwarves. He dual wields two axes. Dwarven hand axe and dwarven war axe and a hand axe.
Tomahawk.
All right.
Tomahawk.
Got a job for me, Commander?
I have to go.
Good luck. If you wish to make use of my services, I'll be here, but not for much longer. I am expecting new orders to arrive soon.
All right. All right. Let's see. So where in particular should I go?
Well, there's some.
I mean, I can go everywhere, really, but, like, is there somewhere in particular you want?
Move out!
You gotta see your advisors for any other mission. And there's major stuff that you need to replace it and
Let's see.
to use your power.
Jewelry place. Let's see. Doesn't have anything except the golden golem to talk to. Welcome to the shop of Derek Sunhammer, the finest jewelry in all of Mendev. True artistry crafted by the master himself and his apprentices. Take a look. And then you can just buy. That's it. Okay. Oof.
You
Bunch
didn't
of...
buy nothing, right?
No. Just looking. And so far now, this seems like it'd be worth taking.
That's good.
It's like really expensive and not worth a fraction of what I'd pay for in against Wulsar Garm. You know, the quartermaster of the Crusade. Well, that's all that. Let's see. In the end. Oh, you know what? Talking to the jeweler did make me remember something, though. I should really go ahead and talk to Finian, the talking weapon.
I lead, you follow.
Second floor, anything here? The inn doesn't seem like it has anything. Oh no, it's got Hillor. And peasants talking. I could listen in with my for 23 perception check. And with my perception bonus of -3, I can totally never hear that. Hillor. Congratulations on taking Dresden, Commander. It's a great victory, though you paid for it with much blood. Its smell still hangs in the air. I remember the smell well. The last time the air reeked like this was the most horrible day of my life. That day I nearly caught the spinner of nightmares. Oh, you know what? No. Tell me how you almost caught the spinner of nightmares. Hiller's gaze grows heavy. It was 6 months ago. We got a lead where to look for her. A lonely inn along the road. We arrived, disguised as travelers. I never took off the eye of truth for a moment. Hiller carefully takes out and wipes his magic monocle. We quickly identified her cronies, but the spinner of nightmares was nowhere to be found. I lost hope and gave the order to arrest the cultists. We managed it quickly and without any losses. The spinner of nightmares appeared on the stage where passing bards were performing. She sang a funny little children's song, and the guests of the inn went mad. Their eyes turned into bloodshot, and they attacked us in a rage. They grabbed whatever came to hand and tried to kill us. Stools, forks, their bare hands, and even their teeth. We were forced to defend ourselves. When it was over, we were covered in blood. 31 butchered corpses lay at our feet. They wouldn't stop fighting even after their guts were dragging across the floor. The air reeked of blood, guts, and shite. I was barely able to clamber out. My legs refused to walk across that slimy muck. Once I made it outside, there was only the night and the steppe, and her laughter. The delighted mocking laughter of a child who'd pulled a prank. It arched from horizon to horizon, as it etched in my mind. I lost consciousness and fell to the ground. Hiller's story ends with a helpless sigh. The Pathfinder massages his eyes with his fingers, as if trying to push away the horrific images he envisions. Go. I have to go. Good luck. Watch your back. Only trust your closest friends. The enemy is cunning and treacherous. I do trust my closest friend. Finian, the talking weapon. See. Want to chat? I'm always up for a chin wag. Want to know more about you? No, he's got nothing new there. What about the Pathfinder Society? Oh. Well, sometimes folks curse our names. Oh, no. He said all this before. Yeah, he still has no new dialogue. It's a little surprising. Let's see what we got. Social. Good afternoon, Commander. How can I help you? Ah, nope, he's got nothing new. Tell me about yourself. To be honest, I don't have much to tell. I had done little in my life till I met you. Okay. You fought in more than a few battles. What does your faith in Shelyn mean to you now? In times of peace, the goddess is the embodiment of everything good in the world. Beauty, wisdom, happiness. After a day spent working, covered in sweat, with dirty hands and a sore back, I'd come to the temple and melt in the glimmer of stained glass and the sounds of music. It's as if I departed the regular world and went up to the celestials. But here, in the war, in this meat grinder among the demons, filth and death, here I know the true meaning of serving Shelyn. She is not something higher that surpasses common people in their everyday life. She is that life. You see, true beauty is not in statues and paintings, but in dignity. In what allows us to keep looking like people and not turn into animals or imps. I once thought that Shelyn's domain was churches and museums, and that the world without her was colorless, humdrum life. But in truth, peaceful daily life is beautiful, if you spend it among decent people. And a world without beauty, it's not routine, it's living hell. Without Shelyn, all of Golarion would look like the whirlwind. Oh, God.
Yeah, the problem is, you see it as his thing. He sees the beauty, what you can offer.
He's laying on a little thick there. Alright, who else? Anyone else to talk to here? Well, Ember's right over there, so. Let's see. Nope. You let yourself. Yeah, no. She's got nothing new. Alright. There's a prison. Oh yeah, they did tell me to go to the prison at one point. Let me check the journal. What does it want me to do? Sword of Valor.
Do the search.
Fifth Crusade. Know thy enemy. Search for traces of unusual demon activity. Yeah, the demon's secret entrances, right? the missing crusaders, the dragon hunt, and what is this? The battered spirit. Talk to Arabeth. Alright. So, I was just gonna go down the side here. Next step is the prison.
Onwards!
Alright. Come to gloat. I need information. Do you? And why would I give it to you? I have many ways to make you talk. Would you like to experience them for yourself or just tell me everything? Chaotic. How about I make you a deal? You give me information, I give you freedom. But let's choose the good aligned option just because I get a chuckle out of it. Because helping me is your only choice to earn a pardon. I don't want your pardon. If you want to kill me, then kill me. On second thought, you know what? I don't care. I don't care about you or the demons or myself, especially not myself. What do you want? Who did you work for? The Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth, cultists of Baphomet. Some serve him for rewards, others serve under dire threat. Some fools even think they'll earn transformation into demons. I only served because it was my chance at revenge. The Grand Master leads to the Templars. He is a mysterious figure. The Grand Master leads the Templars. He is a mysterious figure said to be more of an ideologue than an actual commander. All the cultists I know answer to a woman named Jerabeth. I never saw her myself, but I heard that she is dazzlingly beautiful, and when she speaks, you believe her every word, even if you know that she's lying through her teeth. I have absolutely no idea where to look for her, but I know that there's someone much more powerful and dangerous who the common followers never see. Rumor has it, it's Baphomet's flesh and blood daughter. Something like reverence seeps into Nora's voice. Minago also gave me orders, but I don't think I can tell you anything new about her. You've met a few times already. Are there any other cultists in the Crusader army besides you? I think so, but everyone I knew about has been caught by the Eagle Watch. Arabeth sent a lot of us to the gallows, but Baphomet will always find new servants. Always. Anyone could be a cultist, even Arabeth herself. You think you can tell your friend from your enemy? Nora chuckles cruelly. Think again. Who is the leader of Daskari's cultists? Daskari's cultists are dumb meat. They can't hide, only fight. But there are others among them, adepts of a higher rank, intelligent, dangerous wizards, hiding somewhere in the world wound. They are led by Xanfir the Plagued One. He isn't human. I don't know what he is, but he's not human, that's for sure. They say he doesn't even have a human body, only a mass of insects swarming under his robe. Xanthir, also known as Xanthir the Plagued One, is a prominent figure within the ranks of the cultists, yet he is still shrouded in mystery. Not much is known about him apart from the terror he instills in his minions. Who was that huge demon that attacked us during the battle? That was a Beller named Dorazan, the leader of those poor creatures who had been ordered to fill the ditches of Dresden with their own bodies and break the walls of the city with their own heads. He had them run drills every day, and every day they had to scrape someone off the ground. You're lucky that dwarf chased him off. Dorazand alone could hold off a small army. He'll be back, and all of you here will be as good as dead. No questions for now. Nora shrugs without saying a word. I have to go. Nora scoffs at you. If I resurrected, if I was a lich and resurrected Staunton, would he be in the prison or somewhere else?
No, he'd be in the prison. The only way to get him is he's in the prison.
Oh boy.
He's dead by the story.
Liches, man.
Of course, you don't get the raising the dead part ability until you
You get the raising the dead part if you were smart and made an actual freaking necromancer before you even got here. I was level 9 when I got this thing. So I would have already had access to Animate Dead. Actually, Camilla has Animate Dead. This house has nothing in it. Okay, it has some stuff in it. But no people.
what, no baddies in the temple yet?
No, I'm not in a temple. I just saw a house. It's just a random house. And apparently it just has some, like, a few random ingredients for cooking in it. Nothing bad, honestly. Just so out of place. Abandoned building. No, that's the area exit. Not after exiting the area. Abandoned building. What have we here? Stuff. Okay. What we got here? Soldier Humor, 5th edition.
Move out.
Abandoned building. Alright, and what's in here? Just a few random items, I guess.
Head on.
And a book. The Chronicle of Failure, Anonymous, 4640. Well, this might actually be. A notice in large letters on the book's binding reads, "This book is banned within the borders of Mendev." Now I gotta read it. Taken from the account of a noble Mendevian warrior, veteran of 2 crusades, who was grievously wounded and is currently receiving treatment in a hospital in Andorran. The First Crusade, intended to purge the lands of Sarkoris of the demon scourge, was called up in 4622. The loss of Eredin was still a raw wound in the hearts of the faithful, and those who answered the call of the Church of Iomedae channeled their grief and fury toward a new cause, the defense of Mendev and the liberation of Kelet lands from the spawn of the Abyss, who at that time were reveling in the ruins of Sarkoris. Many answered the call of the Inheritor's followers and fought under the banners of the Crusaders. Illustrious warriors ventured forth into the lands captured by the demon pestilence, bringing with them cleansing fire and long-absent hope. Ere long the filthy hordes were driven out of the western reaches of Mendev into the Sarkorian steppe, and beyond as far as the Threshold Fortress, which to this day remains the beating heart of the Whirlwind. In 4630, having pursued the demons beyond the north mountains of Sarkoris and secured the borders, the Church of Iomedae declared the First Crusade complete. But alas, what the valiant liberators thought was the closing chapter to a victorious campaign was but a prelude to a tragedy that is unfolding today before our very eyes. 2 years ago, an endless wave of demons poured forth from the North Mountains into the Kelet Plains. The fortresses that had so recently stood strong on Mendev's borders were washed away in this unstoppable flood. The Second Crusade was called up without delay, but it was too late. The source of the corruption, the World-Wound, opened its putrid maw wider and disgorged not scattered hordes, but full-fledged armies led by monstrous generals. The Second Crusade goes on, but the morale of Golarian's defenders is at its lowest ebb. Neither the Church of Iomedae nor the courageous Crusaders have the power to overcome the demons that have now overrun Sarkoris. There will be no turning point in this war. All we can do now is wait for death on the borders of Mendev, which has not yet bowed down before the hordes of the Abyss, and pray to the gods that the World-Wound does not expand yet again, delivering new horrors into our world. So the book was banned because apparently it mentions the failure of the Crusaders. That's like me. That's like if, like I can't get behind that. Like banning, like if I banned viewers anytime they pointed out that I made a fuck up on stream. Oh man, am I taking shots at somebody? Oh man. I bet there's somebody that's like, that's me! I ban people who chastise me. Alright, let's see. Oh, there's Windog. Somewhere. Yeah, there she is. Sitting right in front of that house. Windog greets you with a servile bow. How can I serve you? What do you think of your new powers? Oh, I made the right choice when I decided to serve you, Master. This power you have given me. I always felt I was destined to possess such might. Her voice is soft and deep like a cat's purr. Alright. Alright. That's it. There was an option there for flirting, but no. Loot. A book. The Adventures of Brem the Crusader. Helan of the Houndhearts. Commander, my regards. Okay, he just acknowledges your existence, and that's as far as it goes. Outside.
Your name and rank.
Name and rank. Alright. It's just a roof. There's nothing on this roof. Okay. So, there's nothing in the barracks. I checked pretty much the majority of the right side of the map. So, like, do I go to the Citadel? Like, where am I supposed to go to?
We already did. You talked to Erebeth yet?
Erebeth? Oh, alright, so.
And you still have to talk
The
to
problem with
Octavia.
Erebeth and Horgus Worm and the like is they're, like, unlike party members, their portrait isn't just shown. So, I can't, if I don't see her here, so I gotta find her the hard way. No, that was the right way. Alright. What the hell? Stuck on his damn roof. Please tell me this lays out. Oh my. This is bad.
Onwards!
Okay. What about this way? Can I leave out this way? Yes, okay, I'm free. And note to self, never go into the barracks again. Alright. So Erebeth isn't among the Crusaders in the barracks. I see that. She's somewhere. Here she is. Good days and clear skies. What do you say? Where are we off to today? Nope, she's got nothing new. Arisna. Well, what is this? This place has been sanctified. It can protect the area from corruption. Well, isn't that something? The temple. Arisna. A woman in gold embroidered cleric's robes greets you with a polite bow. Her eyes, the color of molten gold, gleam brightly in her dusky face. Greetings, Commander. My name is Arisno. I am a messenger from the Temple of Abadar in Absalom, and I came here assuming the defenders of the fortress could use the services of a cleric. Perhaps you've heard about the wound that sometimes opens in my chest. Are you familiar with this kind of ailment? Arisno quickly probes you with the skill of an experienced healer. So the wound was right here? And then it disappeared and reappeared? Amazing. No, this is the first time I've ever heard of such magic. What do you think it might be? I think it is some kind of demonic corruption, or particles of chaos from the abyss have entered through the wound into your body and made it so unstable. It sounds quite interesting, incidentally. Judging from the records of researchers of the abyss, stranger things have happened in this cursed place. Can you give me some advice on how to heal it? I am sure that you have already used the purification and chaos warding spells, and for obvious reasons, you do not have the option of leaving the campaign and going on a long pilgrimage to various shrines. Since that's the case, keep a diary. Make careful and systematic entries about your well-being. If it gets worse, record the circumstances under which it happens. I'm afraid this is the only advice I can offer right now. I want you to try to heal me. I'm sorry, but I do not have the right to do that. A healer who makes a blind attempt to heal a patient who is not on the verge of death is an irresponsible fool. You do not seem to be dying, so we will not take any unnecessary risks. Thank you. It all makes sense to me now. Take care of yourself, Commander.
We're breaking something.
Alright.
Now we're doing the opposite.
Yeah, I can understand the logic behind that. It's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And now it's saying it's opening other wounds. It's spreading.
Arushele. The girl's ruby eyes stare watchfully at passersby who don't notice her even at arm's length. She turns to you, her face a mixture of contemplation, sadness, and admiration. They're amazing, aren't they? We are being attacked by demons with unusual powers. Do you know anything about them? Arushele thinks for a long while. Finally, she answers hesitantly. Back in Alushanera, there were rumors about terrible experiments that Baphomet and Deskari performed on their troops to make them stronger. Here on the material plane, these rumors were embellished with lots of details. Some say the demons undergo rituals acquired from Zon Kufan. Others say they feed on the blood of angels, or Klippos, or demon lords. Still, others say that there are no experiments and Baphomet is just bringing back fighters from the future, a future in which the demons have already taken all of Golarion. Is there a grain of truth in any of these ramblings? There's no way to know. Naturally, none of these rumors give any indication of where these demons come from. I'm sorry I can't help. The only thing that's clear is that the lowly fighters in the army of the Abyss are as puzzled by this as we are. What are you doing here? I'm watching. She nods at the city dwellers as they hurry past. I'm listening to their conversations, studying their faces. I'm trying to understand what they truly are. Don't you think you're being a little creepy? Or why do you like to watch people? You know, in my old life, I thought I knew everything about them. I was a master of seduction after all. I knew how to tempt a mortal into doing anything I required. I could trap them in a lie or lie myself and never get caught. It's disgusting to remember, but that was my life for many centuries. Now I see I knew nothing. A demon warrior probably also considers himself an expert on mortals because he's killed so many of them. He certainly knows where to thrust the spear for a quick death, and where to thrust it for a long and painful one. And he thinks that's enough. My knowledge, it was of the same kind. I ruined many mortals without learning the first thing about them. Now I watch them to understand them. This won't give my victims back their lives, of course, but still, by growing closer to these mortals, it's like I'm paying back some part of my debt to my victims' memories. Have you learned anything new about mortals? They love cats. Arushele speaks in a very serious manner, as if sharing an important scientific discovery with you. But then a moment later she smiles to give the joke away. Seriously, have your observations of humans led to anything? I wouldn't want to draw any rash conclusions. I've only been watching them for a short while, but I think I have understood one thing. The succubi have a saying, mortals always lie. If a mortal isn't talking, it means she's busy lying to herself. But now I see this isn't true. You mortals aren't liars, you're dreamers. Each of you creates a huge daydream for yourself, and every one you share your life with. It isn't exactly a lie because the daydream is your truth. Don't you think you're being a little creepy? What? The succubus blinks surprised. Really? Why? I don't mean any harm.
It helps you with them.
I see. Well, let me ask you another question. Of course, but forgive me if I don't have any answers.
She's drifting.
Tell me about yourself. I'm afraid you won't like what I'm going to tell you. Where did you succubi come from? Did you have a childhood? No. Well, yes, but in brief, the abyss is nothing like the mortal world. Arushele makes a gesture in the air, trying to find the right words. You remember life since conception. No, wait. You don't remember that part, do you? But certainly you know everything since birth. We do not. Normally, when a human dies, the Lady of Graves decides which plane they go to. Most often, those who arrive in the abyss turn into larvae. You know, the little worms no one notices until you step on them. They crawl in the mud for centuries, devouring each other, and the strongest ones turn into demons. I don't know how that transformation happens. Maybe we hatch out of them, like caterpillars out of butterflies. No, wait, it's the other way around. Or maybe greater demons sculpt us out of them, like so much clay. I don't know what happened to the that they larva that they used to make me, and my own memory. It begins with vague, fragmentary images, terrors, executions, orgies. I remember some poor lad half gnawed by the larva. He was crying and begging to be killed, and I pointed at him and laughed, and said I wouldn't. Desna, forgive me, I'm so ashamed. How did you end up turning against the abyss? Temptation. Arushele smiles sadly. Strange, isn't it? So many people believe that being good is important, but it's boring and unpleasant, and all that's enjoyable and tempting pertains to evil. Even the servants of kind gods often think so, do they not? You have no idea how easy that makes the role of a temptress. Well, it was my great fortune to discover that it's not always like that. My last... Arushele looks away. My last victim was a priestess of Desna, the tender of dreams. As you know, demons do not sleep. Mortals always compare their greatest moments to dreams. So I decided it would be interesting to see for myself, and while I was at it, forgive me, goddess, to mock Desna. This priestess lay in my arms, dying of my kiss. I remember every smallest detail. The cold sweat on her skin, her eyes rolled back into her head, her weak whisper. It's so difficult to recount. Well, I dove into her mind to see what mortal dreams were like. But the goddess saw me in her realm, and it turned out I remained there far longer than I planned. What did Desna do to you? As a punishment, she gave me mercy. I often think, why me? She could easily have blown me away like smoke, with the flick of her finger. The gods rarely trouble themselves with the lives of mortals, and even less so with demons. But for reasons of her own, she paid me special attention. She awoke in me the memories of the sinners whose souls were used to create me. All those humans, I knew nothing of them until Desna showed me. Each of them had their own dreams, and a world without pity trampled each of them, and placed them on a path that led to the abyss. Their memories, all their hopes and pain. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to talk about this. You see tears well up in the succubus's eyes. Arushele wipes away her tears and continues. The most important thing I realized was that every mortal is a little world of hopes and dreams, and that although I might be a succubus, I didn't have to live forever with those beastly, boring pleasures and tortures of the abyss. I can be free. I can be myself, if only I can understand who I am. You don't know who you are? What of you? Do you know who you are? Are there many mortals who can make that claim? Before returning me to the mortal realm, Desna whispered something to me. I can still hear her words. She asked me, "And what do you dream of?" And I don't know. I still don't. You see, demons are simple creatures. Arushele purses her lips. Each is guided by 2 or 3 strong sins. Before my conversion, my sins were all I was. A ball of desire without anyone behind them doing the desiring. Desires for sex, for flattery, and food. But now I have me. And it's amazing, but it's so complicated. Arushele makes an apologetic gesture and smiles. What did Desna do after, or what did you do after Desna converted you? I traveled. In the beginning, I thought it was wise to keep away from demons and their temptations. Run off to Absalom, or perhaps even further to another plane. But then I realized that I didn't deserve freedom yet. The abyss was still in me. It called to me, tempting me, seducing me. If I ran away, I would soon return to my old habits. Arushele forces the word from her mouth. That is why I came here, to join the war, to remember who my enemy is, to defeat the demons, not just for the mortal world, but for myself as well. Because if I don't kill my past, it will always be reaching for me. I'm a wonderful liar. I'm no longer proud of it, but it's still true. The demons never suspected my treason until the very end. I lived as a spy and regularly reported back to the priest of Desna whatever I learned. Naturally, I concealed my identity from them as well. I would never have been caught, but when I learned that Descari was planning an attack on Canabris, there was no time for caution. I risked everything to warn you, and paid with my freedom. You didn't stay locked up long. Or I can say the evil choice. You know, with my help, you could return and inflict terrible vengeance on all the demons who put you through that. Chaotic. Amazing. The anarchy of the Abyss was slavery for you. But you found freedom in the army. Lawful. You should have joined the Crusaders openly from the start. Yeah, right. Good. Thank you for not running from evil, but confronting it. I like that one. That one's good.
It sure is. It's good of you.
Yes, I'm glad I did. But, you know, it's hard. Evil calls me back every day. And when it's so close, what if one day I grow tired of fighting? So do you worship Desna? No. The goddess did a lot for me, more than I ever deserved. Asking anything more of her would be impudent. I'm grateful to her, but I try not to trouble her with my prayers. Thank you for your answers. I hope they didn't upset you too much. At least not as much as they upset me. May I ask you a personal question? The kind of question a mortal might ask. Oh, God, no. That sound. Oh, alright. That sounds like I'd be hitting on her. Tell me about your life in the Abyss. I can't tell you all about the Abyss. I've only seen a small part. If you like, I can tell you about the Midnight Isles and Illusionera. The Midnight Isles. Tell me about the Midnight Isles. In the ocean of Ishiar, not far from the mouth of the river Styx, there is a chain of islands. This is the realm of Nocticula, the queen of the succubi. There is no sun there, only a moonlit night, alternating with a moonless one. Nocticula, demon lord of assassins, darkness, and lust. Lady Nocticula is a beautiful but deadly creature. Even demon lords aren't safe from her deadly seductions. The number of demon lords she seduced and assassinated is formidable. Nocticula's abyssal realm consists of dozens of islands on an immense sea of still black water. The sky is always dark here, with strange stars and a disturbingly large moon in the night in the sky above. Each of these midnight isles represents a demon lord or other notable entity she's assassinated. With each new kill, her realm grows. The other demon lords treat Nocticula with a mixture of obsession and fear. Lamashtu's cult has taken notice of Nocticula's rising power and has increased the level of hostility with her worshippers, causing some to believe that Nocticula may be close to becoming the second demon to ascend to divinity. Yeah. Each of the islands is one of Nocticula's trophies, the remains of a powerful entity that perished at her hands. As you see, you cannot take a step in the abyss without treading on corpses. Tell me about Alushanera. The Porphyry City is Nocticula's capital. There's no city like it in the mortal world. Absalom is a village in comparison. Millions, I don't exaggerate, millions of demons and mortals live there. Some come voluntarily, not only from Golarion, but from other planes as well. Nocticula keeps an open boundary and enjoys having many guests, merchants, and travelers in the city. Some arrive in chains. The slave trade is the most thriving business in the city. From afar, the city may seem a merry place. Many of its dwellers do enjoy themselves, until it's their turn to become someone else's toy. It's a city of suffering, Lewis. Of cheerful, festive torments that everyone in the city inflicts on those around them. What are some places of interest in Alushanera? The heart of the business quarter is the flesh markets, where the slave trade takes place. I grew up in the mansion of Lady Volexia. Her house is always full of guests doing their best to entertain her. Those whose performance is not to her liking risk remaining at her house forever. The main attraction of the succubi city is, of course, the brothels. The 10,000 delights. I need not tell you what they offer. If you can imagine it, someone is selling it. Not far from there you can find the Harem of Ardent Dreams, which serves as a sort of city hall. Shamira, Nocticula's right hand and mayor of Alushanera, receives her visitors there. For those who prefer bloodier sport, there are many arenas in the city. The most famous of them is Battle Bliss. Battles run continuously, without break, and without rules. It doesn't matter what trickery you use to win, it only matters how much fun the crowd is having. And above it all towers the House of Silken Shadows, Nocticula's palace. Hundreds, thousands of towers and domes adorned with jewels. There are legends of what happens inside. Many have striven to experience the delights of the succubus queen's palace, forgetting that it was built for her pleasure, not theirs. What can you tell me about Nocticula? She's called the Lady in Shadow. They say that she was the first succubus. She's far from the most powerful of the demon lords, but this hasn't kept her from being the ruin of many creatures significantly more powerful than herself, even building her kingdom upon their bones. They say that, like Lamashtu, she strives to turn herself from a demon lord into a true goddess. She enjoys killing, but her favorite tools are seduction and deception. She only stoops to crude violence when there are no other games to play, and even then she backstabs from the shadows. Her favorite weapon is a crossbow, though a silken garrote would suit her better. If you should ever meet her, do not believe a word she says, and do not fall for her provocations. Do not try to beat her at her own game. And most importantly, remember, the worst mistake anyone can make is to underestimate her. Thanks for this information. I'll be happy if it helps. What do you think of the powers I gave you? It's a great temptation. I don't know if I should be trusted with such power. I certainly wouldn't trust myself with it. When you have so much power, it's easy to decide you're a god and the mortals are your toys. Perhaps I should wait until after we defeat the forces of the Abyss. But that's precisely what these powers are for. The girl thinks for a moment, then speaks softly. You take a great risk. I'm not sure I can handle the temptation. It's hard enough as it is. Right, I have to go. I will be watching you. Alright. What goes on in the temple? Peasants, nobles.
And a demon.
They really fixed this place up compared to what it looked like during the attack. It's still messy. The history of the world. Take it. Can't get into that. The Axe of Iomedae. What do we have in here? Nothing new in here. And in here. Another locked.
Move out.
And that door is locked off. Alright. Let's head on out. Oh, that's a lot of lore and detailing what happened for the succubus there.
There's the knowledge to go into the knowledge of which you're going to be going.
Indeed.
Taking out teeth.
Now we travel further up. Alright, so we got the exotic weapons provider, blacksmith. Here he is. Right next to Wolserg Arms. Exotic weapons provider. Oh shit, just straight up buy something. No dialogue, just buy. But like it says, exotic weapons salesman, so it's literally nothing but exotic weapons. So many nunchucks. Alright, Wolserg Arm. Which one of these is Wolserg Arm? This guy. Right. Are you going to manage the fortress now? No way, Commander. The quartermaster froze up his hands. Not in a million years. I can manage an expedition just fine, but running a fortress like is a different kettle of fish. That's enough work to make a man's head explode. Which is why they sent us an expert from Neurocian. Her name is Dorgalinda Stranglehold. That's the last name. I've seen how she handles things. She knows what she's about, that one. Iomedae, bless her. She'll be managing the fortress, and I'll be taking care of the soldiers just like I've been doing. Alright. and sell stuff. I have no problem selling to him. So plus one longsword, that cold iron dagger. Plus one warhammer. I think that's it for now. Oh, wait. Hold on. I think I'm actually close to affording it. Let me see. Where is it? Does he still have it? Oh no, I think he stopped selling it. Faster sword, bow. Where is the dragon thing? Here it is. Okay, so if I can sell 10,000, if I can sell items for 10,000 more gold, I can have it at long last. All right. Price and ascending order. Okay, so if I sell the throwing axe of silence, I can have it. Yeah, there's no chance I'm gonna use this. Flail of false hope, voice of hollow. Yeah, sell the rabid underdog. It's a heavy pick. I don't think I'll ever use a heavy pick, honestly. Cold irons appear. Plus one agile dagger. Oh wait, no. Plus two longsword. Yeah, if I can get that. Yeah. Got it. Alright, I'm done. I've done it. I've gotten the final sword I'm ever going to wield. The Black Dragon's Fang. Done. Save. Well, talking to Will Sargon was the best thing you did this playthrough. Alright, so besides weapon. I don't think the blacksmith has anything new to say either. But you never know. Where? Here he is. Touch of flaw. The dissector. And what else do we have? Luminous encouragement. Some real pretentious names here. Alright, moving on. Arcane Weaver, which I'm guessing would sell specifically just scrolls or wands. Jewel Trader. Enlivening Leadership. Plus 5 competence bonus on persuasion. And all companions a plus 1 morale bonus on skill checks. Well, it would be nice, but this shit's still outside my price range. speaking of stuff, I did get this ring. Alright. Next is Darren. Oh, there he is. Alright. You know what? Darren asks, not bothering to greet you properly. I've noticed a certain cyclical. Alright, yeah, that's how you say it. I've noticed a certain cyclical pattern in my life ever since I met you. First, something happens that leaves me positively intrigued. Then I descend into the depths of fear and anger. Then I start to think that it's not so bad, and curiosity comes back. And then something even more dreadful occurs. The demons attacking my home and the city around it was unpleasant enough already, but I thought I could compensate for that by striking up a curious acquaintance and having some new experiences. Then my dearest cousin threw me right into the middle of a crusade. And just when I started to see some positives in my current situation, the Gargoyles kidnapped me. The slaughter in Dresden following my triumphant rescue effectively put out every spark of optimism that I had managed to gather. Now the city is in our hands again, and it's getting more and more tolerable to stay here. I feel surprisingly good, and I'm even beginning to find the city rather enjoyable. This brings one very reasonable question to my mind. What is the next outrageous and dangerous mess you're going to pull me into? Let's see. And I apparently have an actual response I can give. Say, I have a couple more perilous trials and insurmountable challenges just in store just for you. Or you could say, you really like the sound of your voice, don't you? And last is, was that an overly verbose and oblique attempt to thank me and impart just how much you enjoy Dresden? Yeah, sure, we'll go with that one. Darren chuckles softly. Do you really think someone like me is capable of experiencing such virtuous feelings as gratitude and affection? Most certainly not. Your intuition betrays you. I was just mocking you. There were definitely some sharp insults hidden under all those florid turns of phrases. Such is the way of aristocrats and politicians. And yes, I do like it in Dresden, much to my own surprise. Do you want to talk about your past? I've been thinking about you a lot since our visit to Heaven's Edge. That sounds like I'm just trying to kill him. Well, hold on. Let me save and just make sure. Do you want to talk about your past? I've been thinking about you a lot since our visit to Heaven's Edge. Darren's face grows grim. I don't like discussing such unpleasant things. You seem to be quite capable of having fun, so why are you... I don't even know what you are trying to achieve here. I suppose you can always ask, and I'll decide whether I want to answer or not. Tell me honestly, do you miss the people who died that day? Darren is silent for a moment. His pupils seemed to pulsate to the rhythm of his thoughts, or emotions, perhaps. I regret leaving my mother alone. She deserved a better death than that. They confined her to a room so she wouldn't infect those who still believed they could avoid the illness, and... Oh, I forgot that you didn't know. Alright, that's enough. He shakes his head. Let me be blunt. I don't care about my so-called kin at all. People die every day, and none of those people were my friends. They are dead. I am alive and able to enjoy life to the fullest. Besides, there are many things far worse than death. Were you ever close to your mother? Darren sighs. Perhaps, maybe. My mother loved me and I loved her, even though I was a thorn in her side. How can you truly be close to your parents when you're just an arrogant whelp? At least I was lucky enough to have a real mother instead of a countess mother. Aristocratic parents often see their children as valuable investments and vessels for all their ambitions. Thank you for your answer. Can't you come up with something more exciting to ask me about? For example, why I hate equestrian statues, or what befell the marble horse of my marble grandmother. Alright, that's it. It's far more subtle. Alright, let's talk to one of the best characters in the game. Ah, damn it. Camilla has nothing new.
Until you catch her.
Nah, that's lame. Okay. Well, that's everywhere. No. That means there's no new dialogue forever in the game. Single floor house, nothing new.
Got the stable.
Whoop.
Sanctuary. Teleport.
Man, everybody said I would need a teleporter in Kingmaker. It turns out that's just a bunch of baloney. Oh, here we go. CR. Or care. I don't know. CIAR. Sire? Kyre? A middle-aged paladin with a genial face salutes you. His sparse gray hair stands in fuzzy tufts on his head, giving him a distinctive unwarlike appearance. Ever-bright crusaders reporting for duty. My name is Kyre Coblin, and I am at your service. Queen Galfrey is gathering the main attack forces in Nerocean. She ordered us to replenish the losses suffered in Canabris and come here. We will support your troops. A tall, dark-eyed lad is standing behind Sire. He passionately echoes Sire's words. We are ready to go to the front immediately. Allow us to be at the spear of the attack. The old crusader calls the young man to order. Morvag, don't speak unless spoken to. Don't worry, no one will be defeating any demons without you. Kyra smiles kindly and tousles the boy's hair. Oh, he's gonna die.
I got my sword ready, sir.
the enthusiastic little squire.
I'm ready to fight a demon off.
Wearing quote unquote full plate, but it's only really thin plated armor because he couldn't wear actual full plate.
And it's got padding underneath.
Waving around a short sword because anything bigger was too heavy for him. Oh God, I can see it now. He's gonna die. All right, who have you brought with you? Everbright Crusaders mainly, but we have a lot of volunteers who joined us. Those who arrived at the Queen's call but didn't want to sit in Neurosian waiting for the main army to set off. All the hotheads know that the front is here. Kyra nods at the boy behind him, the one who's eager to fight. We picked up this one too. He walked to Canabras with an old sword in his hand and a few copper coins in his pocket. He was going to keep walking to kill the demons, and then he would probably have laid siege to Threshold, no doubt. The boy's cheeks go pink at the old man's gentle mockery, but he continues to stare ahead resolutely and boldly. Did you fight in Canabras? How are things there? Not personally, no. The Queen summoned me and the bulk of our order to Neurosian. Almost all those who remained behind in Canabras died, and the ones that didn't were disorganized and leaderless. But the order did not perish. New volunteers have been pouring into our ranks. We are licking our wounds. Canabras is rebuilding. Life wins out. People are coming from all over Avestan to help. Many are joining up with the Crusaders, just as it happened back in the First Crusade. Great. You will be serving under my command. The Crusader gives you a friendly smile. It's an honor for us, Commander. Let's give the demons a dusting. Okay. Manage Crusader affairs. Ah, there's Regil. Alright, so basically the first floor of the Crusade. Or of the Citadel. Alright. Talk to Regil or Anivia. Look who it is. Hi. Have you figured out how the demons have been sneaking up on us? Anivia answers with scarcely concealed irritation. No dice. Our scouts crawled all over the area, down every hole. Nothing. The Grey Road was completely empty, and then, bam, a whole army popped up like a jack-in-the-box. My only lead is a few scouts who didn't come back from the gorges to the southwest, but we found no sign of secret paths or underground passageways, and definitely no route we can use to quietly move a large force through. But I feel it in my gut. There's some evil scum out there. We just have to look harder. Of course, I could send out more scouts, but they might just disappear like the first ones. Why don't you go there yourself and find out what's what? Anivia punches her fist into her palm. You know, I'd like to give that rat Nora a good shake. How long was she serving the demons, I wonder? I'd bet good silver if I turned her upside down and shook her as hard as I could, something interesting would fall out, not just lice. What do you think of my new powers? Anivia scoffs. I don't know if this counts as blasphemy or whatever, but you look like Desna just had her wicked way with you. You've got a bit of that divine sass about you now. And the dragon. I'm a little put out that I didn't get to see how you flew on the thing in battle, sending the demons running scared, grabbing whatever they could and hightailing it out of there. Did you find out anything about where Minago is now? Anivia shakes her head sharply. Nope, zero, zilch, a whole lot of nothing. The scum melted into thin air. Soldiers saw her jump out the window, run through the square in front of the citadel, and suddenly disappear. We haven't heard anything from her since. And I don't like it. I'm telling you, this is bad. First of all, her kind don't just give up. If we can't see her, it means she's setting a trap for us somewhere we won't expect. I mean, it would be great if the demon lords just gobbled her up for all her failures, but I think that's too much to hope for. But that's not the worst part. We have a more interesting question, you know? I wonder how she teleported from the city, if by that time you'd already hung the banner. The soldiers are saying it probably wasn't in full force by then, but you and I both know that's dross. She wasn't supposed to be able to teleport, but she did. The question is how? Have to go. Alright, you watch yourself now. Regil. Let's see, Regil's pale yellow eyes freeze in an expression of polite attention. Knight Commander, greetings. Can't ask him what he thinks. Yeah, nope, nothing new. Alright, Erebeth. Erebeth's eyes are vacant. Her thoughts are clearly somewhere far away. Seeing you, though, she snaps to attention. Hail, Commander. I found your father's sword. Take it. Give solemn hour to Erebeth. Praise Iomedae. Erebeth takes the sword as gently as if it were a living creature, and sheaths it in the scabbard. I don't know what to say. I am forever indebted to you. I never thought I'd get my sword back. This is the trophy I claimed at the Battle of Dresden. Take it. And please, no objections. I could never replace this sword. I shall never part with it again, I swear. Okay. We need to talk about what happened during the attack on Dresden. Erebeth looks away. I was shamefully weak-hearted. The battle for Dresden is a black stain on my honor. I don't know what came over me, but I don't deserve to be a knight. Still less a commander. Under the circumstances, leaving my position would be tantamount to desertion. Still, as your advisor, I strongly recommend you release me from my position as head of the order, strip me of my knighthood, and send me to serve in the condemned. Damn.
I don't want no more. Like he said,
I don't need another Staunton.
No, she wants to become that guy.
Let's see. I guess you're right. You really aren't much use. Unfortunately, I don't have anyone to replace you right now. Or say intimidate 25 with a 29 bonus. I cannot fail. That suggestion is no better than desertion. Except you want me to take responsibility for it. I don't want to hear it. Join the ranks, knight, and fight as you swore to do. Diplomacy. Oh man, if I'm using Intimidate, I have the best bonus, but otherwise it's Dayron's 21 bonus. Diplomacy 25. Who will lead the Eagle Watch then? You know I have no one to replace you. And good. Few deserve these titles more than you. Don't blame yourself. Under the circumstances, you did everything possible, and more besides.
Ooh.
Sure. But I need to get a 9 or higher. And with
You can get that. You can get 15.
With my luck...
You get 15.
Well,
You're going to get 15 to it.
Let reality sink in. Oh, fuck you.
What's he got?
18 on the die. 18 on the die.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Thank you, Commander. The gratitude in Arabeth's voice is sincere. A spark of enthusiasm appears in her eyes, which had grown dull over recent weeks. The half-orc salutes you sharply. For a moment, you once again see the Arabeth who was ready to protect the defender's heart to her dying breath. Thank you for still trusting me. More than anyone else does in this crusade. Even more than I trust myself. Despite your words, Arabeth obviously still feels unworthy of her commander's rank. Changing her mind will require more than platitudes. Perhaps you can bolster her by appointing her to a position where she can work more closely with rank-and-file soldiers. Those whose faith in their commander remains undimmed. Alright. How is the Eagle Watch doing in Canabras? Orders to Arabeth. Everything is going well. I was wary of handing over the reins at first. I was afraid that everything would fall apart without Anivia and me. But I took a risk and left a very clever lad in charge. A tiefling, as it happens. He infiltrated the cult alone. They couldn't imagine a tiefling wouldn't be on their side. He exposed an entire cell. I personally knighted him just before the city was attacked. Of course, there were many who weren't happy about it, but it's not my job to make people happy. He hasn't disappointed. He has built up the Order's ranks again and is running everything so smoothly it's as if the demon attack never happened. He's proven more than once that I left Canabras in good hands, but I admit it. It's still strange to think that such a small order as the Eagle Watch now has 2 chapters, one in Dresden and one in Canabras. Alright, let's go. Arabeth says goodbye with a short bow. Alright. Well, that's that. Save. Manage Crusade affairs. Alright. Crusade development. Now that you have captured Dresden, new options for the Crusade have become available to you. You can now construct buildings and forts, and Dresden issue decrees and capture and investigate new regions. Both mercenary and trainable units will appear at the commander's headquarters in Dresden. The demon armies will try to take Dresden from you, destroy them, or else after 7 days of siege, Dresden will be completely blockaded by enemy forces, and you will no longer be able to command the crusade. To access the Crusade Management menu, click the button in the bottom right corner of the screen on the global map. Crusade stats, which are where exactly? Developing each of the Crusade stats opens up new options that empower your armies and economy. Military focuses on drilling and training units. Recruit both trainable and mercenary units to improve the rank of your military stat. Logistics focuses on economy and construction. Construct buildings to improve the rank of your logistics stat. Diplomacy focuses on establishing contacts with mercenaries and foreign nations. Enhance the significance of the crusade by earning resources of all types to improve the rank of your diplomacy stat. Leadership focuses on morale and army generals. Win battles and level up your generals to improve the rank of your leadership stat. Once the rank up requirements for one of the Crusader stats has been met, you will unlock the corresponding decree. Your military campaign will require 3 types of resources: finance points, material points, and energy points. Finance points are used for all of the Crusade's various needs, but first and foremost they are needed to recruit units. Material points are used primarily for building construction. Energy points are used for the recruitment of mythic units and the completion of certain decrees. You gain new resource points each day. Prevailing over demon armies in battle and constructing certain buildings increase the income of resources. You can also purchase the required resources with gold. So I can do 3 rank ups. There's 11 decrees, 2 events, 1 development, 1 army, 3 relics, 3 other. Alright. Save. Here we go. Actually, let's stop here. It's getting pretty late. Alright, so thanks everybody for coming. And again, I'll probably stream Wrath of the Righteous Thursday. And for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it's going to be Kingmaker. So thanks everyone for coming, and until then, take care.